Well, why don't we go ahead and get started? I appreciate everybody jumping on. It's not only busy times, but it's like a beautiful day too. It's like 70 degrees out there. It's super nice outside, at least in our neck of the woods. I don't know about everybody's neck of the woods. We got some people from other places in the Northeast, but it's good to see everybody's faces. Appreciate everybody coming on. I appreciate everybody adjusting from going from a meeting. We were planning on doing a meeting together to a Zoom meeting. And basically that really wasn't a COVID decision. I've got, an elderly parent that I'm dealing with, and I needed to stay a little bit nimble in case I had to make some decisions and make some moves. And so I thought it would be easier to reschedule a Zoom than an all-day meeting. So so I appreciate everybody's understanding on that. I know you're probably anxious to get together, and we'll do that. Things are starting to certainly open up more and more where we can gather. We were going to do it at Adelphia's, and you've all been there, that part of the agency, so plenty of room. They were going to put us in the big ballroom, and we were going to be fine. But so hopefully that'll be the next meeting. So so just want to again just say welcome to everybody. It's good to see everybody. Everybody's doing okay. Families are healthy. Everybody's good. Anything going on that we don't know about out there? It's good. Good. Well, that's good to hear, because again, I know that even though things seem to be, opening up and people feeling more comfortable now, with vaccinations and things of that nature. So, I know that COVID's still out there, and it's still part of our world, in a measurable way. So I'm glad everybody seems to be doing fine. And hopefully you're like me and others here that, it seems like the clients are starting to, definitely prospects are all feeling pretty comfortable and getting together and having meetings and doing face-to-face and those types of things. So Zoom's great, but face-to-face is better when you're trying to sell something, I think. So, all right, I want to just share screen. Okay, get that easy. All right, so everybody good? Everybody seeing the Agency 76 PowerPoint? Somebody give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. Just want to start off just kind of giving everybody an update where we're at this point in the year. And this is as of end of production last week. So based on our agency goal, Agency 76 goal of $600,000, we to be on pace for that, we would have to be at 173,000 of paid life premium, and we are at 177,555. So again, we're right on pace for our $600,000 life goal. So thank you and congratulations on that. That's a good number to be at this point in the year. That's for sure. On PNC, our agency goal for 76 is 3.5 million. To be on pace for that, we'd be just a little over $1 million, and we are a little bit over that. So we were at 1,088,000. So we're about 78,000 ahead of pace for the $3.5 million PNC production goal. So again, let's just give ourselves a Zoom applause for that, because that's, come on, Scott, let's, come on, let me see the Zoom applause. Scott, you there?
Bravo.
Is he frozen up? He must be. Oh, there we are. Okay. All right. All right, here's where we stand in the company. So again, this is throughout the whole American National company. So on the life side, we are in second place in life production with our number. So again, good place. Johnny Ford down in Louisiana is having another fantastic year. Those guys are really have been writing a lot of life business over the past few years. So they're doing a great job. But again, we're in second. Mark Militello from out in California is right behind us. Chip Bennett down in West Virginia at 160. And I'm not familiar with Runyon. I'm not sure where they're from. So, so again, that rounds out the top 5 in the company. So that's good. On the PNC side, well, you can see company-wide, the Northeast is really dominating. So I know Brian and Jennifer, who, really happy about that. So, but again, we're in third there. So we're off to a nice start on the PNC side, but our colleagues in North Jersey or the northern part of the state, are really killing it in the first part of the year, $1.6 million, and then Rich Augustinoni and their guys are at $1.1 million. So again, top 3, we're in a good spot. We're on pace for our goal, but if we look at it against our peers, we got some work to do. Obviously we like being number 1 as an agency. So again, from my conversations with everybody, we are certainly got some good things going on. So not that I want Zell and these guys to cool off a little bit, but maybe they can cool off just a smidge, give us a chance to catch up a little bit. Sorry, Brian. Okay, in the Northeast. So we're number 1 in the Northeast with our number. Steve and his team in Massachusetts are right behind us at 154. Gary's group at 139. Dave Wyman and Rich Augustinoni pulling up 4th and 5th on the life side. So again, good numbers for us, and really happy that we're in this position at this point in the year. PNC is going to be the same on the, on the Northeast as the national, because obviously it's all Northeast in that top 5 spots. So again, good start. Some individual recognition where we stand. As you can see now, typically I go through the top 5, but as you can see, when we get down to from 4th through 8th, not a big difference between there. So we felt like we wanted to kind of stretch this out through the top 8 because we're really close in premium numbers. Somebody needs to mute. Okay, thank you. So we've got Vince at 23,565. So great job, Vince, and Brian right on Vince's hill at 23,198. Joel at 16,635. Stacy 14,566. Dave and Dave at the 14,000. Ed 14,000. Great job, Ed. And then Dave sent us just a couple dollars away from the 14,000. So again, appreciate everybody's efforts there and getting us off to that good start on the life side. So again, nice job there. Thank you. Want to also just recognize the paid life apps because as you hopefully all know by now, 18 paid life apps is a critical number. At some point in the future, when the compensation changes, 18 paid life apps is going to be, a critical number to maintain, on a quarterly basis in order to help maximize your PNC commission schedule. So again, 18 is going to be important there. But right now, it's important because that's kind of the key to getting your club qualification. So you can produce at club qualification level, but if you don't have that 18 paid life apps, you're not going to be recognized, at that level. So, so again, based on the 18 paid life apps, we got Ed leading the agency. This is everybody that's on pace now for 18. So we got Ed Sheehan at 12, Joel at 11, Brian at 9, Michael at 9, Dave Jr. at 8.5, Dave, Rich, and Scott at 7, Stacy a half app below 7, and then Dave at 5.5. So again, great job being on pace for that 18 paid life apps. So, you know, clearly the company is putting a lot of emphasis on getting, you know, paid life business. And, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, we do our part. You know, they're looking to increase the number, the percentage of P&C accounts with life business. You know, based on this, the percentage, it's pretty low. It's pretty low for a company like American National. So they're really looking, you know, to increase that percentage of P&C accounts with life insurance. Joe's app count here is going to be different than his from that contest.
Oh, yeah.
So just don't call that. Okay. Yeah, so we just picked up a discrepancy here as I was looking at this on Joel, you know, saying 11 on that being on pace. But for the Spring Life Challenge, he's 17. So somehow, you know, we've got a different number there. So we'll figure out where we came up with that. But these are the folks that are in the top for the Spring Life Challenge that is going on in the company. So Joel has paid for 17 or has written the 17 apps. So, you know, he's lined up to get, you know, the gift card. Brian's at 14 and Dave Jr.'s at 10. Now there's some of those, you know, I know apps were written prior to the contest started that didn't count. But again, here's a great way to, you know, get, you know, have some motivation to, you know, get those applications in. I know, you know, in talking with Brian, for example, earlier in this year, you know, he was wanting to get that 18 paid life apps. He wanted to get that out of the way as soon as possible, right, Brian? It was like you just wanted that done. So, and you're well on your way to getting that done, Brian. So great job there. And now remember too, under this contest, if you get to 25 apps, then the gift card jumps to $350. So, Joel, since you're already at 17, I think 25 is really what we need to challenge you there to get to that 25. But again, contest is still in effect. It goes to the end of May. So everybody's in it, you know, to take advantage of, you know, again, getting those life applications paid for, getting to that 18, and, you know, and getting a gift card, you know, treat someone you like maybe to a dinner or something like that. Keeping in mind that the agency is also going to match, you know, those gift cards for everybody that gets one from the company. Okay, let's jump to P&C. Here's where we stand, you know, in the agency. So, Brian, we've got someone chatting in the background. Yeah, we need a mute, Janet. So we got our P&C, Brian at 277s leading the pack. So great job, Brian. Scott Brown at 160,000. Way to go, Scott. Way to get that in over the 100,000. Michael, you're right there at 99,000. Dave Jr. right there at 97,000. So really close to that $100,000 premium. Stacy at 70. Nice job there. So again, nice start for a lot of people. Now, we still have enough people out there.
Unmuted.
They're not so far again. That's okay. It might be Joel. Yeah, I think it's Joel.
That was Joel, not Janet. So, so again, off to a nice start for the PNC. As an agency, these folks, as you can see, are playing a big part in getting us there. So again, a lot of opportunities on the PNC. We're writing business. We seem to have some nice things that we're quoting. You know, going by what we're seeing from our peers up in the other part of New Jersey, you know, there's business to be written. Those guys are really writing some nice accounts up there. So we'll talk about that a little bit later in the meeting, but nice job to the top 5 there. Okay. All right, just want to recognize our folks that are on pace for Career Club or better. Brian, Scott, Dave and David, Stacy, Joel, Ed, Rich. So great job there. You know, that's important. It's important for us as an agency. You know, when the company's looking at, you know, the agencies are getting the job. This is a big measuring component for us as an agency. How many agents are we getting to that Career Club or better status? So, so again, we're off to, you know, let's see, 5, 6, 9. So we're about 50% of our agents, you know, are that Career Club or better status. So we have some others that got some nice things going on. But again, that's important for us to hit, you know, a good percentage of the agency at that Career Club or better. You guys remember, you know, we need the 18 paid life apps, you know, for the year. So, you know, got to get that under our belt for you to actually get there, even if you have the production. Okay, when we look at the top 100 agents out of, you know, the whole company, which is roughly 1,300 agents, give or take a handful. Again, very, very happy with this number. We have 6 of our agents are in the top 100 in the American National. So again, fantastic job there. I mean, I think that equates to about, you know, one third of our agents, you know, are in the top 100 at American National out of 1,300 agents. So again, great job. I really appreciate the efforts there, and let's get some more there. Let's get some more. There's a lot of opportunities out there for us. No reason why we can't get several more into that top 100. But I want to just focus on Brian, because Brian actually is number 2 based on total points in the whole company. So Brian, congratulations. I think that you're just a little under 10,000 points. So that has you number 2. So again, that just shows that, well, that just shows, quite frankly, that Renee is really getting the job done. You know, so, you know, Renee, thank you. Now we know Brian's getting the job done on both sides, on the life and the PNC, but we also know that that the big reason, the main reason Brian's able to do that is because, you know, Renee is in the office, running the show, keeping things going, writing business. I'm hearing too. She's getting, you know, I hear through the grapevine, we need to give her some credit for some of that, or maybe about all that PNC premium. I don't know. I could have that about wrong, but nevertheless, Renee, we thank you. We know it's been a tough couple years getting your office open and keeping the production up and all that you've had on the plate. And I know, by the way, you know, being a mother and all the other things on your plate that you have to do. So Renee, thank you. And Brian, I know that we all things Zoom, but I would like to just have you, if you can, present, you know, your our plaque to Renee from the agency, you know, for her efforts. So Renee, we need you to get into the picture. So unmute yourself, Brian.
Oh, we had technical difficulties. She broke it.
Oh, she
Yeah,
did?
we just want to thank you. The whole agency's actually here in the background. You can't see them, but just amazing job you're doing. And this is the least we really could do for everything that you do for us. And we'd like to thank everybody. You okay? Do you see her?
No, we don't see her.
I see her. You guys flip through, Jack.
Oh, I gotta flip through?
Unmute.
Or have her
Yeah.
talk.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Renee. Oh, well, thank you. We do appreciate it. And yeah, it's just a little trinket, you know, from the agency. And I know it's just, but again, there's no way, I mean, that you guys could do what you do without, you know, all. And I mean, I know everybody here in our office has just a huge amount of respect and admiration for who you are as a professional. But probably even more than that, you know, way more than that is you have everybody's love for who you are as a person. You're just a joy to be around. And so we just thank you. We appreciate you. And so Brian, I need you to put that up so people can see it. Can you hold up the thing close to the?
Can you see it?
Well, wait a minute. I got my split screen. Let me see.
Let me do the.
Yeah.
He's got the juice behind it.
Okay, there you are. Yeah, so again, that's for Renee to display it in her office. Again, very much appreciative of all you're doing, Renee. So thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
I'm going to be up at their office tomorrow, so we'll get a nice picture with that and make sure we get that sent out to the agency. So,
Thanks, guys.
awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Oops.
I think that's the one.
Well, that's well, let me start
Oh, that's what
slideshow.
you're saying.
Won't let me start slideshow. will it?
You might just have to open it. Just minimize Zoom. And then we might just have to open it and close out. Yeah, just minimize the whole room.
All right, I'll be back.
You don't have to close. You shouldn't have to close out.
I know.
Okay.
Says your screen sharing.
Then maybe you guys budget me now. There you go.
That's the problem with Google. You can't get back in your emails because the tabs are all up top.
What happens when you click on that one? What about download? You try to download it.
Mhm.
Wait. Hit start.
Okay, let me get caught back up. That was so fun. I want to do it again, but I better move on. All right. I know Brian Schaefer is with us today, and
One.
huh?
That's the wrong one. That's with the misspelling.
Oh. Whoops. Brian, we decided that that's how your name should be spelled in New Jersey. Whoever threw that extra letter in there is, oh. Can you see the PowerPoint?
We're just seeing page 1, Jack. It says agency 76 meeting.
I would just try to stop share. I just find the right one. Yeah, that's not the right one.
Well, that's not true.
Do that other one. Do that Outlook one. Okay, that's right. And just try to start it. See if you can start it.
All right. How about now? Am I moving through?
We're still seeing page 1, Jack.
You go through, it's all up top and you can't. So let me just do this.
There you go. That's the other one.
See it now. Am I moving now, Brian? All right.
Good.
Well,
There we
hey,
go.
it just wasn't gonna let me show this, the one with your misspelled last
That's what
name.
it was.
That's what it was. So Brian, Jennifer, thank you for being part of our meeting. I appreciate you guys being here. I think you've always worked hard to be part of our Zoom meetings and our meetings, so appreciate that. So Brian, just want to kind of turn it over to you. I know you had a couple things you wanted to share with the group.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Number one, on behalf of Jen and I appreciate the invite and also consistency, in getting the group together, during this, we'll just call it a transitional time. And I knew you had a lot of talents, but I will say I thought you started the meeting off with giving us a sense of humor. Your musical rendition in the background of what those noises sounds like when people are not on mute, you were right on par. So appreciate the laugh there. Thank you for that. Hey, folks, I just wanted to spend a couple minutes thanking you. Okay, and we always find time to try to perform corrective action to when things aren't going good. And things are going very good right now. And I don't think we say thank you enough. And we really, really appreciate the start of the agency. It's been an excellent, we'll call it 15 weeks, maybe 16 weeks in the books now. I want to make a comment. The Northeast region overall is having a phenomenal 15 weeks. And your agency is right on par, if not leading. And I'm going to add in maybe just a couple data points to Jack's. It's just been a great start. And I want to tell you how proud I am that when, we just had a video meeting with the 8 other RFEs and Patrick Smith led us, and we see the region by region with personal lines, PNC, AgCom PNC, life apps paid, and life production credit. The Northeast region is the only region out of the 9 in the green. And what the green means is we have exceeded at this point what we did in 2020. It's the only region out of 9, and that is a phenomenal accomplishment. And all of you on the call or video are a big part of doing that. So it's a nice spot to sit, to see green and not red. Red it's just not a welcome sight. So great start overall. And Jack did a great job of providing some updates, and I did just want to focus on a couple. As Jack pointed out, on the life side, the Dempsey agency is number two in the entire country of paid life production at almost 178,000. That is a phenomenal start. Vince Rincuso and Brian Sheehan at 32 and 33, the ranking in the entire American National Company. Phenomenal start. 1,300 agents, and you folks, you two are at 32 and 33. Excellent start. I want to give you a kind of a temperature check on where you sit to the region. You know, there's 12 agencies in the Northeast, one in upstate New York going through a transition with the GA transitioning to an agent, but we have 12 agencies. And the region average in the Northeast is $5,926 of paid life production per agent, 5,926. You folks are leading the pack, and at least as of now, it's not close. Your agency is averaging $9,838 of paid life production per agent, leading the company and leading the Northeast region. So phenomenal start. Jack talked about how important paid life apps are. In the region, we're averaging 4.0 of paid life apps per agent. Your agency is at 5.5 paid life apps per agent. So again, great activity to getting submitted, but even better job of seeing them through and getting them paid. So great start on the life. And Jack, I guess pivoting back to that slide, I think you had your slide right. The first slide, I think you had paid life apps. The Eagle Vision Challenge or Spring Challenge, whatever they're calling it, is just submitted. So you've got your data right. You're good on that. One last comment on the life. The pen looks very good, folks. You guys are doing a great job of submitting the business. There's a lot of activity on there. Again, the goal now is to see it through. But you know, my comment overall on the life side of the production, phenomenal start. Again, through 15 weeks, solid. You know, we've got 37 more, so we've got to keep that momentum going. On the AgCom, again, excellent start. What a difference the year makes, right? And I think the Dempsey Agency is where the Dempsey Agency is used to being. So at almost $1.1 million at this point, great start. Again, Brian Sheehan at over 277,000, Scott Brown 161, Michael Wintermantle almost 100, Dave Weiss Jr. over 97,000. Excellent numbers, and everybody's on board on that. So again, please keep the engagement on the AgCom. Please keep that, as Jack always talks about, the funnel. Please keep building that funnel and going out and seeing people and doing it, you know, in the safe way. On the region, again, we're averaging $46,434 of AgCom production per agent. You guys are at 60,517. So again, even on a per agent basis, significantly higher. Phenomenal job on that. We always talk about growth, right? But what do we always talk about? Add on to that growth, profitable growth. Excellent start. On a loss ratio for the region, we're running at a 46.1% loss ratio for the region. You guys are off to a phenomenal start, 33.8% through 15 weeks in 2021. That is a great number. You know, what does that lead? That's a lot of profit, right? So you are growing, but you're growing in the right way, in a profitable way. So we'll see how things go, right? There's only so much you can control, right? Can't control the weather, can't control, you know, freak accidents. That's what we do. But really wanted to thank you for your engagement on the AgCom side, in overall with everybody. Want to give one project update, and we'll just spend 1 minute on it. We have put all of you folks in a detriment. It's been going on for years, and we've got to acknowledge that. Workers' comp it's been a very profitable line of business for this company, particularly this region, for the last 6 years. And I know it does trend, but no one can argue about the profit it's generated. we have not implemented a workers' comp pay-as-you-go program. We need to. So the latest update on that, where we just presented to the executive leadership, and this was part of it, it's planned to be rolled out in the fourth quarter of this year. I'm advocating we pilot it, and I'm advocating we pilot in the state of New Jersey first. We give that some time. We'll see what that is to make sure if there are any kinks, we clean them up and then roll it out. But we project fourth quarter of this year. Next steps is getting a couple, I'll call it well-experienced, high-producing agents, one from your group, to take part in a web demo with the vendor, just to make sure we're meeting expectations. The last thing we want is to deliver something and it's not what you or the client wanted. So again, I just want to step back and say thank you. Results are excellent through 15 weeks in a completely well-rounded view. You know, it's from everywhere. Paid life apps, paid production, AgCom, profitability. Now, hopefully we can help you with getting some tools out there, particularly this pay-as-you-go to get you back on a level playing field. Because right now you're not on a level playing field against other competitors. So, you know, with that, thank you all. Appreciate the effort, and anything we can do to help, you know, please let us know. So thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. I know, Brian, I know you have another meeting. We'll probably have to jump off before the end. So just any question for Brian or Jen before we move on? Okay. Thank you, Brian. Just to continue on with some recognition, I do want to just recognize some folks who are really pursuing hard, getting their FSCP designation. Jamie, Jeff, Jason, Vince Rancuso, Regina here in our office have all been really staying with these classes. Pam Volpe and I have been leading the classes, so we're definitely on the downhill, getting those designations. We're in the estate planning course now with another capstone course that we'll have to complete late in the fall. But again, just want to recognize these folks for, again, their commitment to doing designation work. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of opportunities that can come from taking the course, but it definitely adds a lot to their plate. So just want to say thank you for those folks that are pursuing that designation. Also, we have 7 agents who are participating in the Defender training. It's a training coaching program by Jeff Johnson. Jeff Johnson is formerly a regional director and now an MLGA in Colorado. Jeff's been with American National for many years, has a lot of participated in a lot of work with the GAMA, which is the General Agents Managers Association. So he just really has put together a nice curriculum. It's over 3 months, two sessions a month, and then an individual session each month. So again, we have 7 agents that are participating in that with Jeff. It goes through sales training, scripts, and then also some best practices with, you know, how to hire, resumes, all those things. So again, appreciate Jeff and Stacy and Vince and Scott, Ed, Richard, Joel, all being part of that training. Again, getting better, you know, is really what this is all about. It's a lifelong pursuit, you know, continuing education. Also want to recognize, of course, Brian, we've done that, Jeff and Jason and Scott, and just want to recognize they've recently bought office space and opened offices and purchased office space. I know Jason and Jeff are just getting that underway. Big step for those guys. You can see Jeff still looks a little frightened about the whole thing. Again, want to just, and I know others of you, I don't want to look past, others of you have already taken that step, others are renting space, but I think, again, just want to recognize that commitment of, investing in your business, buying real estate, investing in the community. It really does make a difference. Dave and I, bought our office back in 1994. We've expanded it over the years, but it really does establish you in the community. And I think it really does show your clients that, that you're here to stay. So again, just want to recognize all those folks. So thank you for doing that. Okay. Want to just really call on one person, and I like doing the what's working and not giving anybody any heads up about it. But I do want to just call on Ed Sheehan. I know Ed's off to his best start in his life production with his applications, and just very excited about life insurance. So Ed, can you just unmute yourself and just kind of share with us kind of what you found to be the change this year over the past, well, since your career, you're off to the best start you've ever had.
Just talking about life insurance, Jack. It's part of my language now, for lack of a better way to say it. There's not a conversation I had with anybody that doesn't include it. And just my belief in it's making it a little more productive for me.
So that's good. I know we've talked about it, but you really turned. I mean, because right now you're more apps and more premium than what you've had in, quite frankly, a whole year before. So,
Sure.
So what is it about the belief for the product? What really kind of triggered
It's
that?
just in presentations, it's just like pivoting somebody from term to IUL is, I guess they hear it in my voice. Maybe they didn't do that before, but if I get to the table, I know I'm going to sell them. It's just I never had that confidence before, so it's paying dividends.
Good. Well, you're off to a great start. I appreciate that. And belief is a big part of what we do. I mean, that does come across, when we're talking to people, with, in regards to, all of our products, but specifically life insurance. So Vince, you out there? I thought I saw Vince Rancuso.
I'm out here, Jack.
Good. Hey, Vince. So again, I know just, real quick, I know you placed a nice big case this past month. So just a little bit of background on that case and how you ended up landing that.
Well, this gentleman had been we had Jack and actually helped me out getting started with him. We were trying to get some, planning to save him some taxes on his estate, but it was a little bit difficult. He wasn't really cooperative in that, and would actually hold Sunday meetings with his adult children, which I kept saying, can you invite me to that meeting? Because they always said, Dad, you don't need this. But at any rate, so we pressed in on that for quite a while, and then he went ahead and just got to a point where I said, well, we'll stay in touch. And then he called me, and he had something that when we did when I did some fact finding, I didn't even know he had, but it was a life policy that was an annual renewal, and it was going through the roof. So we had an opportunity to work with him on that. A lot of things that had to happen with him getting vaccinations and because of his age, and many things to work through underwriting, but everybody was cooperating and trying to make it work, and eventually we went through.
Yeah. So this was a case where, when you talk to, you hear about these cases where people have incomes and, a lot of assets that ultimately are going to get taxed. maybe not even at the estate level, but at the income tax level. He had a lot of IRA money and retirement money. And, so what, eventually, and this was a few years ago, Vince and I showed him, how he could use life insurance, to ultimately for his family to pay those taxes, at a much lower and discounted rate than what the actual tax would be. And as he said, we just couldn't, we weren't able to meet with his adult kids. And, so we, they seemed to kind of kill the sale for us. But somehow along the way, this term policy jumped up from and went to just an increasing term. And that's when Vince, and what Vince did was just continue to stay connected with the client, continue to talk about these things, and stay connected. And when it came up, the client looked around. The client looked around a little bit at brokers and maybe where he could, find some life insurance just to get just some options. But at the end of the day, it was Vince's relationship that he built with the client that won the day, because again, it was not an easy case. The guy had some kind of couple issues that were, that COVID added to, and it was quite a journey getting these cases paid. And Vince did a great job staying with him. We changed some things, moved some coverage over to his wife. He still got rated, but at the end of the day, Vince was able to get them to do a nice case, 20-some thousand of life premium. So very nice case, Vince. We really appreciate it. And I know the client, is in a great position because of your efforts. So
Yeah.
Again,
Thanks, Jack. I do want to, can I just mention real
Sure.
quick, because I think it's kind of funny. He was one of my first clients when I started off, and beekeeper, and the annual premium for his beekeeping policy was $240 annually. So I was glad, because I kept thinking, we got to get more out of this guy. He was not easy to get anything, but at any rate, worked out. So I just thought it was kind of comical. We're doing better than 240 now.
They're doing better. Plus, Vince, also closed some nice, has closed a few nice annuities on the client. So yeah, it's that $240 premiums turned into a lot more. So congratulations. Well, I know there's a lot we could really, if we were in an all-day meeting, we would definitely spend some more time on this, but wanted to make sure we had a chance to talk to a couple of you. But for the sake of time, and just so I don't think I mentioned this, we're going to go today till, probably about 2:30. So hopefully you block that amount of time out. So I also want to just, say thank you to Michelle Rosa, who's our senior life insurance field specialist. She was, part of our call last time. And so I really appreciate her taking the time to be part of our meeting today. And so Michelle's going to give us some updates, on the life side of what we do. So Michelle, thank you and welcome.
Oh, thank you, Jack. Thanks for the invitation, and thanks for everybody joining on the call and sharing your time here today. And amazing work for all of you. We had such a strong first quarter, as Brian said, but the fact that you're number 2 in the life company currently as an agency, and then number 3 on the PNC side nationally, it's incredible work. Unbelievable. I'm so thrilled for all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a big deal. The other thing I wanted to say something, Ed Sheehan, you just said something a few minutes ago about conviction and belief and the confidence in meeting with clients. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that that's part of what we really bring to the table as a multi-line agent. So what I wanted to share today was some of the stuff that's going on in the life company. So about the BOP and CPP life clients without coverage, with life coverage. It's an annual campaign. We have our second quarter coming out, our second mailer, which is going to be on buy, sell, and succession planning. So I can share, I'm not going to share my PowerPoint or anything like that because in the essence of time. But what I want to do is I want to send it out to Jack, and then Jack, you can share it with everybody.
Okay.
So I think that'll be the easiest way, and then people can go and look at it at their, on their own time. So this particular campaign, we obviously know that we have to increase the life to PNC accounts. It's a corporate goal. They call it a WIG, a wildly important goal. Currently, we don't know what the analytics are on the first mailer that went out, which was in February. So we really don't have a lot of time, but what they're going to do is they're going to scan and we're going to compare the two lists. So we'll know which accounts actually have life insurance and we'll have more analytics. I know that we've been getting feedback because there's the mailer and then there's the trifold that you can order from Brand Muscle. So if you're not part of Brand Muscle, please join and pay for the marketing pieces because they're really good. And you could use them separately. I'm going to send trifolds to you, or the PDFs of them, so you have them, so you know what you're looking at. The other thing is, please share it with your staff, because if the staff knows that this is going out, then they'll be able to talk to the clients and possibly set up appointments for you guys. The other thing about where the leads are being dumped in. Now, this was a bumpy ride initially. I was talking to Brian earlier about this. When they first put the leads out into CRM or Client Central, it was super bumpy. They had qualified them so you couldn't see them. So we had to have them undo it and then redo it again. Now we have absolute clear direction on how you can get into CRM and find your leads. Not only that, the predictor leads, the life predictor leads are in there as well. So I'm going to send that. It's in a PowerPoint and it's step by step by step, exactly how to pull them. Now, here's the other thing about this. I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but guess what? They're tracking it. So the expectation is that you go in and at least qualify, touch them in some way so that we know that you've looked at them and that they're tracking. This way, they're not saying, oh, it's another home office initiative. It's at least looked at. The other thing is that they're your clients. It would be great to be able to go to clients that you already know. So you'll be able to go in and say, okay, I know that these people, I've already talked to them about it. I can disqualify that. Here you say, I've got these clients here. I can go and talk to them. I'm going to qualify that lead and we'll reach out. So please don't hesitate to call me or ask any questions. If you need help on CRM or how to sort. The other thing is that you can export it into Excel. So, and that's a huge thing because we weren't able to do that before. Now we can. And we have 18 apps we have to meet the goal. So I think this is a really good way to do it. The other thing is because it's BOP and CPP and AgCom, the initiative is to increase our AgCom premium on the PNC side. So not only are we hitting this on the PNC side, we're also hitting it on the business life insurance concepts. We have a program that we put together in the Life Specialists. It's called Advanced Markets Business Development Group. We have a pilot program. We're on the 11th week of this. The last time I talked to you, I think we just started it. We're going to be shortening it up into 4 different modules. And we're going to be teaching you guys business life insurance concepts and the questions, how to talk, the language, the scripts, concepts. If somebody needs something during this time, you'll be able to have the language and the knowledge to be able to handle these accounts, or at least be able to talk to their attorney and their accountant if you need to. And we have resources. So I'm not the only resource. There's a ton of resources behind us. If you have a buy-sell agreement that you want looked at, we have an attorney on staff, Walt Radecki. He will look at them and he'll give opinions on these buy-sell agreements that he sees. The good thing about that is it's free, and it's always good to have a second opinion. Going to a doctor for a surgery, we ask for a second opinion. Why not do it on your buy-sell agreement too? Okay, so let's see. The next one that I have, does anybody have any questions on that?
We're good.
Okay. All right. So the next one is, you guys saw the 7702, the IUL changes that came out. The 7702 change was in the stimulus package in December and it was approved. So 7702 IRC code is the IRS code. And that's what makes life insurance from an investment. So you have to have a corridor between the death benefit and the cash value. What 7702 has done, before we had a 4% guarantee we had to meet. And with the low interest rates historically over the last 15, 20 years, they've been having a hard time being able to increase cash value limitations compared to what we can make, what the company can make and actually profit on. So what it did is it gave us a wider range where we can have a lower death benefit on the IUL and maximize our 7-pay and our guideline premiums. So if you've been quoting it at all, it's effective, and it was effective January 1. We don't know what we're going to do between the January 1 and the April 1 policies. We know that we have to deal with them, but from April 1 forward, you're able to quote it and put the higher limits in the 7-pay and the guideline levels. So you can certainly maximize and not have as high a death benefit, so the insurance charges are lower. Let's see. The whole life will be revamped as well. We haven't gotten to that one yet. Now, the next thing that we have, does anybody have any questions on 7702?
Just so everybody knows, that's a real positive.
It's a huge positive.
Yeah, right.
Huge. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be able to take, and next week when we do a class on quoting, we're going to do a class on the IUL and quoting it and illustrating it and how to use the you know, B to A and maybe change specified amount even further down the road. So we've got a lot that we can talk about next week. And I'm going to actually have Wayne come on as well. So we'll be having you guys sitting in front of your computers and we'll do cases and just test it out. All right, so now the next thing that's coming, we've got new indexes. Now this is going to be huge. They're going to be on the IUL and the Asia 10. They're going to add the S&P Mark V and they're going to add the NASDAQ 100. I do have the historical data on those, and Jack, I'll send that to you and you can forward it out. It's in draft form right now. That's happening effective June 1. There'll be training at the end of May. So we'll be able to talk about those particular strategies. It's also going to be included in our new Signature Protector IUL. Now that's being released on July 1. And that's a combination between the GUL and the IUL. So it's going to have a guaranteed death benefit, and it's going to have all the strategies that we just talked about. Now, those two strategies are not going to be in the New York IUL. So it's everything except New York. So we'll get there for New York. If anybody's writing in New York, it's not going to be in those.
So again, that's basically, Michelle, we just say that's just a new product now in our life portfolio.
It's great. Yeah. Yep. Now, that will have that on July 1. And the strategy index annuity will have those same strategies on July 1 as well. And then the other thing, this is not good news. Well, it's the GUL is going to have a 5% increase effective July 1 in all states except New York because they had theirs a few months ago. So it's on sale now. So if you have anybody that you've got in the hopper for GUL, July 1, it's going to change. So hopefully you can get them to, or get them motivated to write it now or currently.
Michelle, is it about the app date or the date that you placed the case?
It's going to be the app date.
Thank you.
Yep. So if it gets in there before July 1, you're good. So next, does anybody have any questions on any of that? I know I just regurgitated a whole bunch of stuff really quick. The BOP and CPP campaign is the one that seems to be the the biggest hot button because we're sending out mailers and really cool creative pieces to existing clientele. And that's where you're going to get calls in your office, and your staff really needs to be aware of what's going on. The next thing is having those business life insurance classes that we're going to be doing, and that we're excited about. We're hoping to start that in July. We're working on shortening the versions right now that we have, that we did for the advanced markets group.
So now,
So-
Michelle, is that going to be a live training, or is that going to be just a computer module training?
No, we'll have the PowerPoint, but we'll also, we're thinking about doing, we haven't decided yet exactly, but we're thinking about doing case studies as well. So it'll be kind of like a shortened version of the business life stuff on FSCP. A little bit more in depth. And we're talking about legislation changes, what we think is going to happen with the federal estate tax. We think that that number is going to be reduced. They're talking about going from the 5 point, whatever it is now, 5.5, I think, to 3.5. So we have some opportunity here to prepare clients, especially our business clients, because they have a lot of assets, to do some estate planning and, you know, business will planning for themselves. And the opportunity to do life insurance on those cases is huge. And I think we just rolled this out at the right time, the whole BOP and CPP campaign. And we're going to be working on that, doing that with ag as well. So,
Well, that's right. I mean, that is one of the opportunities out there because of stimulus and, you know, government spending. You know, everybody's talking about how we're going to pay for it, how we're going to pay for it. And the things being talked about are kind of right in, you know, what we do. State taxes, you know, eliminating stepped up cost base, you know, that's going to create a lot more capital gains taxes in the future. So, you know, now is the time to be having these conversations with your clients and to piggyback, you know, on top of a, you know, a company driven campaign is really, it's really a home run for us.
yeah, the thing that was really interesting, I was in a meeting the other day, and we talked about, you know, profit centers and profit centers for the IRS. The IRS doesn't want us to plan because it's a profit center for them. Why do you think they lower the limits? You know, so it's, I've asked the question, do you want the IRS to take all your stuff? You know, do you know if you don't plan that your assets become a profit center for the internal revenue?
Yep.
They don't want you to plan. So
And
that's
the
all
other
I
thing too,
have, really.
in those areas of taxation that we're talking about are going to be the ones that are going to get pushed because they have the least political fallout, you know, because the politicians can call that, you know, we're hitting the rich, you know, we're hitting the rich, we're not hitting the middle class, you know, so that's why, again, we want to be talking to our clients that have, you know, businesses, assets, you know, it really is going to be, they're the ones that are going to be targeted, you know, in trying to, you know,
Yep.
raise some tax revenue. So,
And we insure a lot of essential too, you know what I mean? During this whole COVID fatigue and, you know, vaccinations, are we going to have herd immunity? You know, that kind of thing that's coming up. The questions that we had on, you know, I had a bunch of agents and MLGAs calling me on the stuff that I sent out yesterday. And, you know, if I get COVID from a shot or a treatment and I'm within my, you know, 2 years of incontestability period, are they going to deny the claim because it's experimental? And, you know, we obviously we're not, you know, that was the solution, obviously, that Dr. White put out a statement. But everybody's concerned. There's a lot of internet chatter on that. There's a lot of internet chatter on how are we going to pay for all the stuff, the stimulus. Jack, you're absolutely right. They're going to squeeze our middle class even harder.
Yeah, so again, these are just great conversations that that we need to be having because it's real. And the fact that we can now see who's getting this information from the company. I appreciate your point too, Michelle, about letting our staff know, because I mean, that's something that we probably aren't doing a great job of letting them know, what's being sent, who it's being sent to, so that they can be in a better position, to maybe, bring it up somehow, some way based on, the experience of that CSR. So.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past about staff, and I think that they're the ones that are left out sometimes on the information, and it's really important, I think, that they have it because they're your partner in your office,
Right.
and they're talking to your clients.
Yep. Michelle,
So,
thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you being part of the meeting. So next Tuesday, the 27th at 1 p.m., again, Michelle is going to, we really knew that obviously all the things that I wanted Michelle to cover with you guys, was just no way we could pull that off in our meeting today. So we set that for next week. Please try and be part of it. Get an understanding of, the illustrations and again, and how this 7702 has impact. Like I said, if you're looking at clients who are trying to, sock some money away, here's a great, that was one of the great things. There's a lot of things right about the stimulus. This was definitely one of them. So, so that's good. So Michelle, thank you.
Thank you for the invite, guys.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes, have a good one.
Okay, so underwriting updates. This is on the casualty side. The first one is on binding authority. We had a meeting with Marie yesterday. Here we meet with Marie as as a GA group, and one of the things that we're seeing is based on your binding authority, the underwriters really want you utilizing your binding authority, understanding your binding authority, and utilizing it. They, admittedly have said they've kind of created a situation where there too many agents are questioning accounts and questioning, how to write business because, maybe underwriting's just created this atmosphere that if you do it wrong, you're going to get a UAB. So they want to change that. They want you to utilize your binding authority. They want you to bind business. And so we're going to be talking about that more, but there's been some things that's come out recently. When did that come out? On that, what we covered yesterday. Yeah. So, there was a piece that came out in February, again, that showed, what you could bind based on, standard producer. So make sure you have that handy and utilize it because like I said, basically we're going to underwriting with too many cases that you could have just bound. All right. Now, with that being said, help me say this right. Maria said, that in the past, what was it about UABs?
They went to her to approve UABs. Now they're going to her to approve UABs. Underwriters no longer are able to issue UABs.
Right. So basically what was in the past is that an underwriter would issue a UAB and then we would potentially go back and Marie would have to approve that UAB being removed. Now they have to go to Marie to get a UAB approved. All right. And she's not looking She wants, if there's situations where in the past maybe a UAB would have been issued, she really wants that just to be a more of a training, learning opportunity. And they also gave us a fairly strong commitment that if something did come up, that and it needed attention, that they would probably push that to next renewal. In most cases, it's going to go to next renewal. They're not going to, again, most agents were communicating that they were concerned about binding coverage only then to see a policy have to go into cancellation. So again, I know there's a lot there, but at the end of the day, they're wanting the agents to utilize their binding authority and not go to the underwriters with getting something bound that they didn't need to. Now, there's probably going to be some situations where that, it's still going to come up. We get that, but it really did seem to us that they were very committed to doing this. Any questions on that? Okay. The other thing that we wanted to bring up is on the SHP. We know some of you in your books have these policies, and as you know that there is they are going to start non-renewing SHPs after June 1 of 2022. And so we want to make sure that we are looking at that now. We are encouraging the agents to go ahead and start doing that now, getting those policies rewritten, into a homeowners or wherever they belong. All right. So, because again, I know that a letter went out, they've been going out, it's created some phone calls, created some confusion. And this is a letter that we sent, right, or is this not what came from the home office? Right. So attaches a letter, and we'll send this out to you as a letter that we are also sending to our clients regarding, the SHP program. So we'll send this out to you, but for the purpose of today, we really want you to get out in front of this. Some of you only have a couple, some of you have far more than that. So we really just need to get these squared away. Now we are on May 18th, please block this out with your CSRs. We are going to have a CSR Zoom meeting on May 18th from 1 to 2:30. So we'll be sending an invite out to them probably next week. If for some reason, there's a reason why you would not want a CSR to participate or something like that, please let us know. But we're going to be sending that out. And the purpose behind it is just to give them an opportunity to, on some of these topics that we just discussed, and also other things that just we feel, would help them, in doing their job better and, and spending time with their peers. So make sure you block that time out. Okay. What's the next slide? All right, I just want to just finish up our time kind of going through the American National sales process. And for those of you that have been doing all the class work with us on the FSCP program, you're going to be very familiar with this because the American National has adopted this through through the American College. And we're gonna, again, we'll send this out to everybody, but this is really, a fantastic piece that I think will help you, in becoming better at what you do as professionals and professional salespeople. And this is really an excellent document, for you to look at. So actually, you can find it where?
Is Pam on the call? I think it's Agent Central.
Yeah, Pam, are you
Sales
on?
and Training.
Pam, I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do, you go on Agent Central and you go into Education and Development, and it's the client development process. You click on that, and then there's, you'll find this document as well as supporting documents for each one of the steps mentioned in here that go into it in a little more detail.
Right. Yeah, so again, we've talked about for a long time now the importance of having a process, a sales process. Everything we do should be broken down into some type of process, and certainly, the sales being probably the most important one, because that's how we grow our business and acquire new clients. And so this has been established through the American College, adopted by American National. And I'm not going to go through this page by page, but there was definitely a few parts of this that I wanted to go over. So again, the 8 steps, in the sales process is identify the prospect, approaching the prospect, meeting the prospect, doing a fact finder, gathering information, then analyzing this, to come up with the solution, then presenting the solution, implementing the solution, and then servicing the plan, making the sale, closing the sale, and then obviously doing follow-ups with PIRs. So that's the 8 steps of the sales process. And here it is in a pie diagram. And the important thing to keep in mind about this 8-step process is this is not a selling process. This is what we would call a selling planning process. This is how you develop and do more planning with your clients, which again ultimately deals with or deepens the relationship you have with the client. If a client calls you up and says, I need some life insurance to cover a mortgage, well, that's going to be a transaction. You might try to move them into this process, but at the end of the day, you're just going to take care of that more as a transaction. This process is more about, taking someone who doesn't really realize that they have a big problem, and then you take them into a process that establishes, you have some challenges or problems that we need to address in the planning process. So again, there's what they call 7 mini sales in this process. So that after you identify the prospect, then your approach, that's your first sale. So you got to set an appointment under favorable conditions. Your second sale is to sell yourself, sell American National, sell your service, and then you have to sell the need. So those are the 4 components of sale 2. Sale 3 is to obtain permission to get the information and gather and do a fact finder. Your 4th sale is to get the money commitment. Your 5th sale is to make the close, get the check, and complete the app. And then sale 6 is, make the sale solid, build the client relationship, and obtain referrals. And then your last sale is professional insurance review and your PIRs. See, this is something that professional salespeople, when you talk at high-level salespeople, they master this process. So one of the questions I would encourage you to ask yourself as you look down through here, am I mastering this process? Is this something that I know how to do day in and day out? Is this something that is repeatable? Is it a process that I can build into? Is this something that I can build into a process that I can then begin to build some metrics from, because mastery is the key. Effective selling is all about mastery and it being a repeatable process. On this page, I just want to look at that important point. If you see that in the box, it says the better you become at the sales process, the less you will have to depend on price and product performance to make a sale. So again, that's what we want. We want to become better at the sales process, because we know if we're working the process day in and day out, there's going to be times when things don't go our way. Case gets rated, case gets denied, you know, it just doesn't go through, you know, but the level of anxiety a lost case produces is always symptomatic of what kind of implementation you have in the process. You have a weak pipeline, not many things going on, then that's going to have a lot more impact in your day-to-day. But if you're working a solid sales process, then you just continue to work your process, understanding that things are going to not always break your way. Under professionalism, again, this is so important. When you hear and read the word professionalism throughout your American National career, and I underline this, professionalism is the cornerstone of success for any market-driven organization. And your professionalism begins with your attitude. It's an attitude you want to cultivate early and build throughout your career. And then the next sentence, it says American National is committed to building a high-performing sales team made up of carefully selected individuals who are dedicated to achieving professionalism in their selling careers. That's really, you know, is my goal for the agency, is I want Agency 76 to be looked at as a group of high-performing salespeople who are dedicated to achieving professionalism in their selling careers. And that's the people we want on the team, people who are dedicated to professionalism. And then our success is based on the individual success of each agent. Your success as an agent must come first. You play the key role. So again, I found that to be just a very motivating statement and reminder. Then the next part is this, what I call the kind of the 5 habits. So there's 5 habits that we have to get right. You have to think right, you have to work right, you have to sell right, you have to study right, and you have to live right. And I would take some time, if I were in your shoes, to read through these 5 areas of self-discipline and ask yourself, is there any area I am not exercising self-discipline? You know, because if this is what it takes to be successful, then obviously we want to get this right. And I can't, you know, as I read through it, I can't think of any of these that would not be something I would want to be excelling in. All right. So you have to have the right attitude. You have to have the right work habits. You have to master your selling. You have to be, you know, basically studying all the time, you know, being continuous self-development. And then you have to live right. You have to make sure you're, you know, you're living a balanced, healthy life, because again, we can't perform if we're not, you know, don't have that living right aspect correct. So hopefully you'll take some time and just read through there and ask yourself, you know, that question, am I not practicing self-discipline in any of these areas? And then when it comes to the habits, and I just asterisk this sentence where it says a truly great thought on habit building goes like this: the way in is easy, the way out is hard. Think about it. You may have found the way in to poor dieting, exercising, living to be easy, really easy, but you haven't found the way out of some of those habits to be hard. So when you look at those 5 areas and you found yourself where you have developed, some bad habits, then remember, it's easy to develop the bad habits. It's hard to get out of them. And as I've spoke with many of you and we've talked about different things, again, I still see even today where some of you are still doing the same things over and over again and not getting any different results. So, and the reason is that change is hard. Changing the necessary habits to change the outcome, it is very difficult. But if you take the time to do it and really commit to it, you'll see your results change. So planning embraces 4 philosophies: wake up employed, make sure you own your time. That's what it means to subscribe to the box time theory. Own your time. Don't let your time own you. They always like to disappear on me right when everyone's getting good. And here's the thing I want to end with, because I think that maybe now, as we're heading into the second quarter of this year, is, take some time to work on your business. We show up and we work in our business, we work in our business, we work in our business, but we never take the time to work on our business. And so I would encourage you to take a day, talks about here monthly, and just get away from things, get away from your phone, get away from your computer, and really make sure you're laying out, really a good self-organization and, how you can analyze how your past quarter's been. But again, taking that time to work on your business is not easy, because it means that you got to break maybe some habits, but it's critical to do that. So there's a lot here that I would just encourage you in your talks. It goes into the sales funnel, and these are ways that you can build metrics for your business from a process standpoint. How many pre-approaches do you have a week? How many appointments? How many opening interviews, closing interviews, submitted applications? Again, just a way to build really strong metrics that, again, you can repeat week in and week out in your business. All right, so hopefully I'm not going to take the chance you'll forget about this document, so I'm going to go ahead and send it to you. But again, Pam, share with you where you can find that. So as we wrap up, any questions on anything?
Hey, Jack, Scott, maybe I missed it, but did they come out with the pay plan yet? I know we have to do the 18 applications, but any more update on that, or did I miss that?
The commission program?
Yes.
No, haven't heard anything.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Yeah, right now the 18 paid apps is just to, unlock the door for Career Club, President's Club, Summit, Chieftain, all those things. That's the only thing.
Because I seen on Cognos, whatever it's called, talking about cap loss ratio and stuff like that. So that's fine. Just also too, just to mention, if anybody has a customer service rep that they thought was good and couldn't hire, we're looking for someone else that's licensed and has experience. We pay well. But no, if you know anybody, in the past, that maybe you're setting aside, we're on Indeed right now. I haven't found anybody yet. So any help would be greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Welcome. Any other questions? Well, as Brian said, we have a really strong life pending. It's really strong, a lot of good stuff in there, a lot of stuff set in there that's, you know, it's getting close. You know, so we've got good momentum. You know, we got good momentum going into the second quarter. We need a good, strong second quarter so that when we head into summer, we're, you know, typically things get a little lighter with people traveling and vacations and things of that nature. So I would really, really like to see us, you know, ahead of pace at that 300,000 or better number on the life side, you know, before we head into summer. So it's there. We have a strong pending. I know you guys are all working on some things. I know Brian and you and Michael just closed a nice case yesterday. So thank you for that. So that'll be a nice hit to the, you know, for us. That was about 20,000 life premium, if I'm hearing everybody right, something in that ballpark. So good job, you guys. You know, so that's what we need. You know, we need the bump and grinds. We need the thousands, the 1200s, the 500s. You know, the 4600s, Michael. We need 4600s. Just saying, we need to track that check down. But we need them all, right? And then when we get that nice $20,000, $10,000, 15,000. Rich, I saw you put a nice case in, went into underwriting today. So if I hit the pending sheet, so nice stuff there. Jason, Jeff, I know you got a nice one that's hopefully getting close. Physical's done. So hopefully that goes smooth for you guys. We can get that one on the paid column. You know, so again, a lot of good stuff out there. So let's keep it up. Ed, keep it up. Yeah, don't take your foot off the accelerator. Keep pushing. So, but again, appreciate it, and we will stay tuned, and we'll hopefully see most of you next Tuesday on Michelle's training call. All right, guys, thank you.